Hello and welcome back to the Melge Gaming YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be walking you through the Lumia Stream 5.0 update. Now Lumia Stream is the program that I use to let my Twitch chat control my lights and overlays, so Twitch subscribers can come into my channel and type !blue and it will change my room lights, my keyboard and mouse lights and my overlays to all be blue. It's a really cool feature. My chat seem to love it. If you want to see it in action, then please do drop by sometime. I'm live on Tuesdays and Thursdays over at twitch.tv/Melge. Now, just a heads up that I'm not going to be teaching you how to use Lumia Stream in this video. I've done Lumia Stream tutorials in the past and I will put links up in the corner so you can go and check those out. This is more of an overview to show you what has changed. If there are any features that are particularly different from the previous versions of Lumia Stream, then I will talk you through how to use them, but we're not doing a step-by-step on how to set up Lumia Stream or anything like that in this video. If you want that, go and check it out. I'll put a link up in the corner for you now. I'm currently putting out a couple of videos a month aimed at smaller streamers trying to give growth and tech advice, so if that sounds like something that you could benefit from, then consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications to get notified when future videos go live. But for now, let's get into it. Right, first and foremost, full disclosure, I do work very closely with Lumia Stream. I am partnered with them, but I don't get paid to make these videos and nobody has a say over what I can or cannot say in these videos except for me. These are my genuine thoughts and opinions on the product that we're going to be looking at today. So the only way that I make money off of this video is if you kind people decide to use the referral link to use Lumia Stream, which I will leave in the description below. Now, I'm really excited about this update. I've been led to believe there's going to be some really interesting features in here and some nice changes, as well as a big overhaul of the UI. So without further ado, let's go and have a look at it. When you first open Lumia Stream, you'll be greeted with the tutorial, which we're going to skip for now because I'm just going to take you through the whole app step by step. So skip and take me to my dashboard. So this is the new Lumia Stream dashboard. It has 5 main sections. It has a stat section up the top here, which shows you how many commands have been used and whether they're chat commands or alerts. You have a queue section, which will display any command that is currently in your queue and waiting to be activated. You have a cooldown section, which will show you any commands that are currently in a cooldown state. You have the logs section, which shows you any and all commands entering Lumia Stream and whether they will be triggered or not and why or why not. And finally, a connections panel, which is a super useful addition as it allows us to refresh our connections to any of the Lumia Stream peripherals in one place. And that's the dashboard. It's essentially an improved version of the old Lumia home screen with some additional functionality. Next, we have the default state tab. Here you can set what the default state of your devices should be. That means when somebody triggers a command or an alert plays, what will your lights and other peripherals do afterwards? Well, in here, you can define that behavior accordingly, choosing to revert to a set color, animation, or theme, and various other options as well. You can also set the default state for MIDI devices, the default state for OBS as well. You also have the idle state. The idle state allows you to instruct Lumia to trigger a certain action after it's been idle for a set amount of time. You do also have some general options here about your revert to default, about slightly delaying it, turning off your lights on disconnect as well. But this is functionally the same as revert to default was in the previous Lumia as well. Next up, we have the connection tab, which operates in the same way as the old Lumia Stream as well. This is where you'll connect anything that interacts with Lumia Stream. So that's obviously your smart lights and devices like smart plugs, but also services like OBS, Streamlabs, and Twitch itself. We're not going into a full tutorial on how to do this and how to set these up. The basic premise is the same as it used to be. So if you want some guidance on that, then please check out the old video that I will put a link up to in the corner now. With this new UI, it's much easier to edit and turn on or off one individual connection than it used to be with the old designs. You can just toggle these on and off or edit them on the fly as well. It's much easier than it used to be. Next up, we have the queue, and the queue is, well, the queue. You can choose to configure Lumia in a number of ways. Primarily, you can choose to have the queue switched off, which means the commands will not stack into a queue. Now, if you have cooldown switched on, which we'll touch on shortly, then any command issued during the cooldown period are completely ignored. If you switch the queue on, any command issued during the cooldown period goes into the queue to be triggered at a later time. If you have no cooldowns and no queue, commands will immediately override each other as they're issued. Now, the really cool thing with the queue is if you can turn it on here, you can see that you can rearrange the priority of individual aspects of Lumia Stream. For example, you can set alerts to queue to play one after the other or to override each other. You can reorder the priority of certain actions so that certain things take priority in the queue over other things. Personally, I would always have alerts at the front here, as you're going to want them to play as soon as a follow or a subscription or something of that sort comes in. So next up we have the Studio tab. This is fundamentally the same as it was in the previous version of Lumia, although it does look an awful lot nicer. So when you come into the studio, you have your fuses, hypes, themes, animations, reactions, and so on. I use mostly animations, so we'll have a little look in here and you can see the main changes that they've added a search bar, so I can search for individual animations. So no more scrolling through lists or you know, just being a bit blind and struggling to find your animations. You can now just search for them, which is really nice. Next up we have commands. So remember, Studio is where you create your light shows, your colors, reactions, animations, and command is where they are executed from. Now we have some cool functions in here. First up we have a search bar. Again, really helpful. Thank you, Lumia. We love the search bar. Great touch. And next we have the ability to turn on or off any given command with a toggle. This is really handy. So like if you're doing a particular stream and say you'd normally have the police reaction available, but for this stream you don't want it, you can just turn it off and it's, you know, save your changes, job done. Really easy. That's a great little added feature and a really good time saver. Now, when you look at a command in more detail, which you can do by editing it, you can see whilst it looks, you know, different, the layout is quite different. It is fundamentally functions in the same way. We do have something new now called aliases, which we didn't have before. So we can add aliases to our commands. So where this is normally !police, we could have maybe !50. You could have maybe !popo. And so on and so forth. So you can have multiple aliases to trigger one command now, which is a nice addition from Lumia. Thank you again, devs, for that one. We love it. Now, another thing to note is the global settings tab at the top of the chat commands section. This is where you set your global identifier key. So for me, that's ! You can change that to be anything that you want. This is also where you set your global default cooldown. So mine's set to 4 seconds, but you can adjust yours here and you can select which user groups, if any, are able to bypass the cooldown. You can also see your user groups here and we can adjust them, and we'll talk a little bit about this later on. But you also have a restrictions list, so you can turn this on and you can add a user and deny them the ability to be able to change your lights. If you go on your deny list and add them, user 123 will now no longer be able to issue commands to Lumia on my stream. So some great additional user management functionality there from Lumia Stream. These groups are going to be very important and we'll touch on that shortly. That's a big improvement. But for now, let's get into the Twitch channel points. This is functionally the same as it was before. A handy little feature that Lumia have added is the import from chat option. So here is where you would normally add a new channel point command. As you can see, it's created a new command here. We can go in and edit it to be a color or a scene or a reaction and set it up as we would previously. But you can also now import a command that exists as a chat command straight into your channel points, which again, great time saver, really good forward thinking from the devs there. So thank you for that one. We love it. Now, last but by absolutely no means least, we have one of the biggest changes to Lumia Stream, the Twitch extension. The guys over at Lumia Stream have taken things to the next level by releasing a Twitch extension that works similar to what you might have seen in the past for sound alerts. The new extension allows viewers to trigger Lumia Stream commands by clicking a button on a dedicated panel in your About Me section or as an overlay on your stream. You can choose to make these buttons free or you can choose a set number of bits for any given command. Now, as this is a brand new feature, I am going to take just a moment to show you how to set it up. It's really easy, so let's just have a quick look at that now. Okay, let's take a look at the brand new feature for Lumia Stream, the Twitch extension. Firstly, go to the Twitch extension tab of Lumia Stream and set the global state here. Set that to on. You absolutely must do this if you want to use the Twitch extension. Now go to your creator dashboard and go down to extensions on the left-hand menu. Search for Lumia. And there you'll see the Lumia Stream extension. I already have it installed, but you'll need to click the install button. And when you've done that, you'll need to click configure. That'll bring up this page for you. Now, if this next button here is grayed out, you need to make sure you go back to the app and switch on this global state. Once you switch the global state on, you will be able to click the next button and begin to configure the Twitch extension. Now head back to the Lumia Stream app and start adding the commands that you want to appear on your extension. Again, you can import existing commands from the chat menu, or you can add a brand new command. It's entirely up to you. You'll see that you're able to select from a long list of predefined values all the way down to 0 bits up to 10,000 bits. So set this up as you would like to, set whether you want an animation or a reaction or a color, set the value and the duration for it. You can do some advanced cool stuff with this, like make changes in OBS, make API calls, or control any MIDI bits as well. Once that's done, click apply and save your settings. If you then go back over to your Twitch page, you should see the relevant commands appear here with the right values assigned to them as well. So you should go ahead and set this up as you want, set the value that you need, that you want to apply to it. I'm just going to change this slightly so that I can save it down here. You'll see that when you make a change, this apply button stops being grayed out and you can click it. And Lumia will prompt me that I have unsaved changes. Now, old school Lumia users, you're going to love this. All you need to do is click save and it will refresh the app for you. If you're an old school Lumia user, you know that you used to have to go all the way back to the home page and back in again to Lumia to refresh it. The very worst case scenario on this new version of Lumia Stream, you just click this power button in the top left, that turns it off, and you click it again and it turns it back on, and that is job done. Sorry, we went on a little bit of a tangent there. I got a bit excited, but old school Lumia Stream users will know what a massive time saver that is going to be for them. So anyway, back to the video and the extension. Once you've saved the changes here, head back to your Twitch extension and you should see the relevant reactions with the correct amount of bits assigned to them. You can see here the red one that I changed to 112 bits. Once you confirm that you're happy with all of these, close the extension and then you have the options as to whether you have it set as a panel or a component or overlay part. Now, setting it as a panel will set the Lumia Stream Twitch extension to appear in your About section below your stream like this. Let me just get in here and show you. So you'll have a panel like this. Your users will be able to see and sort of, select how many bits they want to cheer and what they want to trigger. Or you can have it set up as an on-screen overlay, which I can't show you right now, but I will hopefully be able to record the next time I'm going live and add into the video. We will see. Now people can simply click these buttons, pay the cost, and the action will be triggered on your end. This is a huge step forward to Lumia Stream. Hats off to the devs for getting this one out there, because I know a lot of us were suggesting this and asking for this, and they've delivered it, and they've delivered it really well as well. I think this is really sleek, a great design. It's going to be a big hit on my channel, I think. So next up we have alerts and overlays. I'm going to combine these together because they are fundamentally exactly the same as they were in the old Lumia Stream. There are no changes here other than some visual enhancements within the UI. Chatbot is Lumia's own bot designed to assist your viewers in better understanding what they can do with Lumia Stream. The bot is capable of identifying a user and their permission level and returning a list of commands that they are able to utilize. It can also send a full list of all commands that you have, along with lists of who is able to trigger them, like which user groups are able to trigger them. You can have it also post into the stream just to let you know that Lumia is sort of active and listening. You can also have it feedback that it is changing the color of your lights, or that it is busy going through a reaction or something of the sort. It's pretty useful for letting your chat know what's going on with Lumia and how they can best utilize it. Next up, we have the community page. This still functions in the same way as previously. Lumia Stream users can upload their unique and custom created actions for other people to download and utilize. It's a super cool feature that's come in handy for me on more than one occasion. Next up, we have the generic Lumia Stream settings, such as showing Lumia in the taskbar, API token information, as well as being able to permanently reset all of your settings. Be very careful when you're back here not to accidentally screw this up and completely delete all of your settings. But yeah, these are just the global settings. This is where you can check for updates and various bits and pieces. Nothing too exciting back here, but again, is looking a whole lot sharper than it was before. And lastly, we have hotkeys, which kind of speaks for itself. Here you can assign keystrokes to trigger actions within Lumia. Now, there are a couple of other handy things I want to point out. We now have a couple of quick ways to test and review actions in Lumia. In the top right, we have a button called Shortcuts. If you click this button, it will show you all of your studio creations and commands, and it will allow you to trigger them quickly so that you can see them in action. So all you have to do is click on them and this will trigger them in the room, which is a great way to test if something is working the way that you think it should be. You can also access this menu by clicking on the Lumia Stream icon in the taskbar, and that will bring it up as a pop-up here for you as well. You can also test your commands as if you were somebody else, which is such a cool feature. Lumia Stream devs, thank you for this one. This is really good. I can now type in one of my viewers' names and select their viewer level, whether they were my follower or my subscriber or my moderator. Tell Lumia which platform I'm streaming on, and I can test commands as if I was that person. So right now I'm set to subscriber and I test the command red and it does work. If I set myself to a follower, it doesn't work. And that's the setup that I have in my channel. If you're a follower, you need to use channel points. If you're a subscriber, you can use chat commands. This is really good for troubleshooting and identifying issues with command restrictions and user groups. So thank you. Great addition. And speaking of user groups, the last feature that I want to share with you all is the new custom user groups that we touched on very briefly earlier. So if you head back to commands and global settings, you will see you have these predefined user groups here. So the user is the person using Lumia Stream. That's me, or hopefully you. You have your moderators, your VIPs, subscribers, regulars, followers, and literally anybody in your stream. So these are the predefined groups that come with Lumia Stream, but you can add your own. So we click add user level and you can see it makes a custom group down here, which we can change the name of. We'll call them legends, and let's add some legends in here. So let's add my buddy Cup of Shane. Let's add the Red Queen. Let's add Smoke One Down, some regular viewers in my channel that are always around, and now they have their own group. But this means you can take people who have subbed for 12 months or more, or people who redeem a special channel point reward, or maybe somebody who's got a certain amount of watch time, and you can place them all into their own custom group, and you can create custom unique commands that only they can trigger, which I think is a great way to reward people that really support you. Another fantastic addition from the Lumia Stream devs, so thank you so much, guys. And that sums up the major changes with this Lumia Stream 5.0 update. The devs are still working on it. They're pushing new builds all the time, so that some of this info may change, but right now it's all up to date and accurate. I also need to let you know that the premium model for Lumia Stream has changed. As a free user, you now have access to a full color picker and you can pick any hex color you like, whereas before you were restricted to more basic colors. However, as a free user, you are now restricted to 5 chat commands or 5 Twitch extension commands and so on. Other premium features include the Lumia Stream chatbot, smart devices like smart plugs, although key lights are included as a free feature. Themes, animations, MIDI, user restriction levels, and color temperatures are all premium features as well. Essentially, if you just want your viewers to be able to swap between 5 colors of your choice, then Lumia Stream Free has you covered. However, if you want to get into the really good stuff, like changing overlays, having smart devices trigger things like popcorn machines, or MIDI triggering things like smoke machines, then you will absolutely need to look at Lumia Stream Premium. Premium is fairly cheap, somewhere between 1 and 2 subs a month over on Twitch will cover it for you, even less if you go for the annual subscription, and even less if you use my referral link and save yourself 20%. And that will save you 20% on the whole annual subscription if you go for the annual purchase. I'll leave the referral link down below in the description. If you're considering Lumia Stream, whether it's free or premium, please consider using that referral link. It costs you guys nothing, but it does help me out massively. Don't forget to leave a comment below to let me know what kind of stuff you're using Lumia Stream for. I know there's so many options out there and I've barely scratched the surface with the way that I use it, so I'm really keen to see what kind of cool stuff everyone else is coming up with. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to get notified when future videos go live, and thanks for watching.